For most of my life, I believed in love, loyalty, and the strength of family. I thought that if you gave everything to a relationship, your time, your heart, your faith, it would mean something. That kind of devotion was supposed to last forever. But life has a way of shattering your illusions, especially when it comes to trust. Sometimes the people you hold closest are the ones who hurt you the most. I was married for years to a man I truly believed was my partner for life. We had a son together, or at least, I thought we did. I believed in the life we built, the memories we made, and the promises we shared. Everything seemed real to me. But the truth has a way of creeping in, even on the most ordinary days. It all started to fall apart one evening after my husband, Leo, returned home from his military deployment. He was trying to adjust to being back, finding his place again in the rhythm of home life. But something about him felt different. The way he looked at me had changed. His eyes searched my face, not with affection, but with suspicion, like he was silently asking questions he hadn't yet voiced. Then it happened. I was in the kitchen, folding laundry at the table while he went through some old paperwork. It was nothing out of the ordinary, just random documents that had piled up over time. But then I saw him stop. He stared at one particular sheet. His whole expression shifted. His eyes, once full of warmth, turned hard and unreadable. "What's this?" he asked, his voice calm but cold. I turned to look, and my heart sank. It was a hospital bill, one I had hidden a long time ago. I had placed it deep in a stack of papers, hoping it would never resurface. But there it was, in his hands now, and the truth I had buried with it was no longer safe. My secret was out, and I knew nothing would ever be the same again. For most of my life, I believed in love, loyalty, and the strength of family. I thought that if you gave everything to a relationship, your time, your heart, your faith, it would mean something. That kind of devotion was supposed to last forever. But life has a way of shattering your illusions, especially when it comes to trust. Sometimes the people you hold closest are the ones who hurt you the most. I was married for years to a man I truly believed was my partner for life. We had a son together, or at least, I thought we did. I believed in the life we built, the memories we made, and the promises we shared. Everything seemed real to me. But the truth has a way of creeping in, even on the most ordinary days. It all started to fall apart one evening after my husband, Leo, returned home from his military deployment. He was trying to adjust to being back, finding his place again in the rhythm of home life. But something about him felt different. The way he looked at me had changed. His eyes searched my face, not with affection, but with suspicion, like he was silently asking questions he hadn't yet voiced. Then it happened. I was in the kitchen, folding laundry at the table while he went through some old paperwork. It was nothing out of the ordinary, just random documents that had piled up over time. But then I saw him stop. He stared at one particular sheet. His whole expression shifted. His eyes, once full of warmth, turned hard and unreadable. "What's this?" he asked, his voice calm but cold. I turned to look, and my heart sank. It was a hospital bill, one I had hidden a long time ago. I had placed it deep in a stack of papers, hoping it would never resurface. But there it was, in his hands now, and the truth I had buried with it was no longer safe. My secret was out, and I knew nothing would ever be the same again. No words, no goodbye, no angry shouting or last-minute pleas. Just silence, and then he was gone. And in that stillness, I knew with painful certainty, I had lost Leo forever. The days crawled by, then weeks, then months. He never came back, never reached out. There were no texts asking for answers, no calls seeking closure. It was as if he had erased me completely, like we had never existed. When the divorce papers finally arrived, they came without a note. Just a clean, clinical severing of something that had once felt sacred. A love that had been my entire world, gone in the turn of a signature. But just when I thought I had felt the worst of it, the universe found a way to hit harder. I got a phone call. A voice on the other end, flat, professional, delivered the kind of news no one is ever ready for. There had been an accident. My body went numb. I collapsed. And when I opened my eyes again, I was standing over a hospital bed, staring at the man I had once called my everything. He lay still beneath the cold, sterile sheets. The man I had loved, lied to, and lost was now lifeless. Gone. And with him, so was any hope I'd ever had of being forgiven. As I struggled to breathe through the grief, my phone rang again. It was my mother, her voice panicked and trembling. Leo, you've turned him against us, she accused. I let out a bitter laugh, gripping the phone tightly. Turned him against you? No, I told him the truth, something you and Dad never had the courage to do. That wasn't your truth to tell, my father snapped, his voice sharp with controlled rage. You had no right, I fired back, my voice rising. No right to tell him what really happened. To tell him what his father did. He had every right to know, whether you approve or not. The line fell quiet. For a moment, I thought they'd hung up. Then my mother spoke again, softer this time. He's furious with your brother. He won't even speak to him. He packed a bag and left. I sighed and rubbed a hand over my face, feeling the weight of it all pressing down. I should have known. My nephew wasn't someone who could sit quietly with a lie, not once the truth was in front of him. After all those years of looking up to the man he believed was noble and good, now he could see the cracks beneath the surface. Where is he now? I asked, my voice low. We don't know, she said, barely holding herself together. He won't return our calls. His fiancé said he's staying with a friend, but she won't say where. I closed my eyes and pictured him, pacing, clenching his fists, jaw tight, trying to make sense of a life that had been built on lies. I had been there once. I knew that storm of confusion and pain too well. You have to fix this, my mother pleaded. Talk to him, tell him this doesn't change who his father is. I laughed, hollow and tired. But it does, Mom. It changes everything. There was a long pause before I continued. I'm not fixing anything, I said firmly. You and Dad chose to protect my brother. You let him walk free, without any consequences. Now, he can live with them. You can't just. My mother started, but I didn't let her finish. Goodbye, Mom, I said firmly, then ended the call before she could guilt me any further. The days that followed blurred together. I told myself to move on, to let it go, that it wasn't my problem anymore. My nephew was grown, he had to navigate the storm of truth on his own. But the truth was, I couldn't stop thinking about him, about the damage, the silence, the ache we both carried now. So when a soft knock echoed through my apartment late one evening, I somehow already knew. I opened the door to find him standing there, exhausted, his eyes rimmed red from lack of sleep. His expression held that hollow look I knew all too well. I stepped aside, wordless, and he walked past me, stopping in the center of the living room like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to belong anywhere anymore. I don't know what to do, he finally said, his voice hoarse. I grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, handed it to him, and sat on the couch, giving him space. Take your time. He sat across from me, gripping the bottle like it was the only thing keeping him grounded. I confronted him, my dad. I nodded slowly, staying quiet, letting him lead. At first, he denied everything. Said you were trying to ruin him, twisting the story to make him look bad. He paused, bitter. But then I showed him the documents. The dates. The evidence. I imagined my brother, so sure of himself, always composed, backed into a corner he couldn't talk his way out of. My nephew continued, voice trembling. He tried to justify it. Said it was a mistake. That he and Mom never meant to hurt anyone. That it was complicated. He scoffed, shaking his head. But it wasn't complicated. He betrayed you. And he lied to me. And Mom, she just stood by and let it happen. I exhaled. No, it wasn't complicated. He ran a hand through his hair, the frustration pouring off him in waves. I can't even look at him. I packed my bags. Left. My fiancé doesn't understand. My grandparents are furious. And now, I don't even know who I am anymore. His voice broke. My chest ached watching him unravel. You're still you, I said softly. This doesn't erase that. He shook his head, blinking quickly. It changes everything. My whole childhood. Every memory I have of him, it's all tainted. And now my wedding, he swallowed. How am I supposed to stand up there with him beside me, knowing what I know? I studied his face, his pain raw and honest. Do you want him there? He hesitated, then shook his head. No, then don't invite him. He looked up sharply. It's not that easy. It is, I said, leaning forward. This is your life. You get to choose who stands beside you. He ignored the whispers as best he could. I watched him navigate the room with the calm grace of someone far older than his years, polite, steady, but distant. Every toast, every smile was slightly offbeat, like a song played in the wrong key. His fiancée never left his side, gently touching his arm, grounding him. She knew. She didn't ask questions in public, but I could see her concern etched in the way she looked at him. Later that night, After the music faded and most of the guests had left, I found him on the balcony alone, nursing a half-finished glass of champagne. He didn't look at me when I joined him. "Do you regret it?" he asked again, just above a whisper. I thought about it, really thought about it. The answer hadn't changed. "No," I said softly. "Not anymore." He nodded. "Then I won't either." He didn't say anything else. He didn't have to. And in that moment, underneath the quiet stars and beside the boy I once held as a baby, I realized something important. We don't always get to choose what breaks us. But we do get to decide what we do with the pieces. My mother and father sat stiffly at a corner table, their presence more a statement of tradition than support. They hadn't said much all evening. I wondered if they still hoped to change his mind, to make him doubt the choice he had already made. Then, near the end of the night, the energy in the room shifted. My brother arrived. I saw him first, standing just inside the entrance, his face a mask, emotionless, unreadable. Whispers stirred among the guests like wind in dry grass. My nephew turned, and when their eyes met, time seemed to pause. My brother stepped forward. "Son," he said. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't affection. It was a command, a quiet demand for recognition. My nephew's jaw tightened. "You shouldn't be here. I just wanted to talk," my brother said, his voice unnervingly calm. "This is your wedding day. I should be part of it." My nephew didn't answer right away. He turned to me instead. And in that moment, I saw it, the thing he'd been missing all day. Not fear, not doubt, resolve. "You were right," he whispered. Then, facing his father once more, he said it clearly. "You need to leave." My brother's eyes flickered, surprise, maybe pain, but no words came. He nodded once. Then he turned and walked out, silent as he'd come. And just like that, the air cleared. The weight fell away. My nephew exhaled, his shoulders finally easing. Then he looked at me and said, "Thank you." I shook my head gently. "You did this on your own." "Maybe," he said, "but I wouldn't have had the courage if you hadn't told me the truth." I placed a hand on his shoulder, steady and proud. That's what family's supposed to do. And for the first time in years, I felt like I finally had one again. Some moments rewrite our history. This was one of them. This story wasn't just about betrayal or forgiveness. It was about standing your ground, breaking cycles, and choosing your own future over someone else's version of it. If this story moved you, let it be a reminder. Sometimes the family you save isn't just your own, it's the one you help someone else rebuild. To everyone who made it to the end, thank you. Your time, your thoughts, and your support mean everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this story left a mark on you. We're building a space where real stories can be told, shared, and felt. Warning disclaimer. This story is inspired by true events but is a work of dramatized nonfiction. Names, dialogue, and specific details have been altered for privacy and storytelling clarity. Viewer discretion is advised as the themes may be sensitive to some audiences.